afternoon, healthcare specialist. My name is Jasmine Cervantes, and I am an organs donator coordinator, and I will be your moderator for today. We are gathered here today to discuss and explore the topic of whether or not it should be illegal to sell your organs on the legal stance. And we're actually going to hear those opinions by our lovely panelists. Let me introduce them. First, we have Ben Corbett, who is administrator for the United Network for Organ Sharing, UNOS.org. So give it up for Ben. And next to Ben, we have Kevin Muniz, who is an organ appraisalist for the state of Texas. And next, we have Muhammad Al-Hayat, who is a kidney surgeon at the Mayo Clinic, so he knows what he's talking about, guys. And lastly, we have C.O. Ritter Finch, who is a National Institute of Health researcher, also known as the NIH. And so, guys, if you would just like to restate yourselves and tell the audience a little bit about yourselves, let's start with Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben Corbett. I'm an administrator for UNOS.org, which is the United Network for Organ Sharing. Basically, in 1984, the United States government asked us to oversee the placing, transporting, and gathering donor information. Basically acts as a middleman between organ donors and then the medical facilities, which would then transplant those organs into people. So basically, we monitor the transplant list for the United States of America.
And Kevin, would you like to say something?
Hi, my name is Kevin Muniz. I am the state of Texas organ appraisalist, and I have a method to where we do almost a physical for people who want to donate organs currently, and that is my research right now.
And Muhammad?
Hi, I'm Mohammed Al-Khayat. I'm a surgeon at the Mayo Clinic, and I am against the selling of organs.
And C.O., would you like to tell them something about yourself?
Yes, I am Sarah Finch. I'm a researcher for the NIH, or the National Institute of Health, and I am for the selling of organs.
Okay. And so before we get started, let me set a few ground rules. I'll set two, actually. One, I'm going to give each of our panelists a question, and they will each have a minute to answer. And if they go over that minute, I will politely and respectfully cut them off. Rule number two, we do encourage participation, highly actually, but we do ask that you keep your questions to the end for the Q&A. So let's get this started, guys. So, did y'all want to just state your own stance real quick, just to start it off? And so, would the legalizing of selling one's organs have a positive or negative effect on society and the current system? Ben, would you like to start this off?
Sure. I'm basically against being able to sell your organs for profit for yourself. Being an administrator for UNOS.org, basically the whole way we work is that we take donations from people who have donated organs, either people who are organ donors, who have either had some sort of fatality or died of natural causes, or people who donate organs just out of charity. If people were allowed to just sell their organs, which in a perfect world, if you knew somebody who needed an organ and they were willing to pay you for it, and you were able to go through the specific medical means of doing that legally, then it would work. But my fear is that it can become privatized and people can control the costs of organs and how they are distributed. My organization, basically, under the instruction of the United States government, we run the Organ Procurement and Transplant Network, which allows people to donate either known or anonymously to our network, which then we are responsible for placing, transporting, and gathering all the donor information, matching the donors to the specific organs.
Okay, and Kevin, what would you think legalizing the selling of one's organs have a positive or negative effect on society?
I'm for the legalization of selling organs for profit. I think it would be a positive outcome due to the fact that we're giving the public a third option for an income. Possibly if you're in good health and maybe don't have good financial ability, you have the ability to maybe sell something of yourself, maybe a kidney, an eye, a set of teeth maybe. I think that it should be. I think it's fine for. I think it's positive for the society to have that option to be able to sell their organs to people who actually need them. And currently there's 113,000 people in the U.S. waiting for organs. And with this system, if we were to legalize it, we could maybe decrease that amount of people who need organs currently.
Okay, and Mohammed, do you think legalizing selling one's organs would have a positive or negative effect?
Well, I think that legalizing selling organs would absolutely have a negative impact on the society. Because if selling organs was legal, there would be an increased rate of murders. Because organ trafficking is now a multi-million-dollar business. According to the Discovery News, an Asian couple from Los Angeles are on trial in Qatar. They are accused of starving their daughter Gloria to death in order to sell her organs. On the other hand, there is also a risk of receiving a bad organ, and there are multiple risks of bacteria, disease, infection, and fatalities.
And Ciel, do you think it could have a positive or negative effect if legalizing the selling of one's organs came to that?
Yes, I believe that it would be a good thing to have the ability to sell our organs because I believe that in the end it would save lives. So, as Kevin already stated, the U.S. waiting list for waiting for an organ is around 130,000 people waiting right now. That's according to the Organ Procurement and Transplant Network. Now, there is only one country in the world that has legalized the selling of organs. Every other country in the world has it. That's something that you're not allowed to do. And that is Iran. So in 1988, Iran set up a program where you could now sell your organs. And since that program has gone on and run its course, it still is going on, there is not a single person on the waiting list in Iran for an organ, especially for kidneys and that kind of thing. It's very easy to get one. And so they have nobody on their waiting list. Now, of course, that country is much smaller than America, but still, imagine having no one on a waiting list instead of 130,000 people because of some moral decision that the government is making to do. And so I think it would have a positive effect on the country and the well-being of people to be able to sell your organs.
Thank you for that, Ciel. And so our last question, guys. What effects would selling your organs have on the black market? And would you like to restate your stance after this, since it is the last question? Ben?
Can you repeat the question really quick for me?
What effects would selling your organs have on the black market?
I think that it would have a detrimental effect on the population or those who are receiving organs that were procured from the black market. The whole point of my organization is to make sure is basically quality control. In our mission, according to our mission statement, we promote effective and safe care and equitable organ allocation and access to transplantation. As Mohammed said before, there's no quality control when it comes to black market organ dealing. There's no guarantee of matching if you don't do it by a board qualified surgeon or in a clean facility. There's no guarantee of your safety and or anybody else's safety when that organ is being transplanted or taken from somebody. And our list, basically, the way we run it is we match organs to people. We make exceptions for children, of course, in special circumstances. But basically the list works. We place organs and we match with tissue samples, DNA, age, size, all sorts of things to make sure that everybody gets an organ that is most likely going to succeed for that person. And I think that dealing organs on the black market would completely undermine that entirely.
Okay, and Kevin, if legalizing the selling of one's organs, what do you think that would have an effect on the black market?
I think legalizing the sale of one's organ would actually have a negative effect on the black market, just so for the fact that with the system that we would put into place, if it was legalized, we would have a system to be able to appraise every single organ and how in that specific individual, how much it's actually worth. We can give an average amount of money you would receive, so you can know your risk for your benefit after you have the surgery. We also have methods to. We also have an average per body part, average per price of every essential body part that someone needs currently For instance, a liver is $130,000, a kidney is $30,000 to $50,000. And those kind of prices are set into place already. We can establish just so someone in the black market who actually would have just kind of an illegal price or an under the ground price couldn't scam you out of what's yours.
Okay, and Mohammed, if legalizing selling your organs became legal, what would you think the effect would be on
I
the
think
black
it will
market?
be a positive impact. And organs in the black market consists of selling and kidnapping children from poor families. People can also buy babies and children, keeping them alive until full grown and taking care of them, then slaughtering them for profits. Also, this is just another way for the rich to buy themselves a better life, and that's why I'm completely against selling organs.
Okay, and Sierra, what do you think it would have an effect on the black market if selling organs became legal?
I think it would make the black market much smaller because there would be no need. You know, organs would already be legal to sell, so you wouldn't have the risk of, the demand for organs. The supply of organs would go up, so there'd be more organs around. There would be no need for a black market. Why would you bother getting an organ on the black market when you could go to a clinic and be matched with somebody who can give you one that you can pay, but you can make sure it's a good one? So there would be no need for it, in my opinion. So I think it would actually have a positive impact.
Okay, and so to wrap this up, let me just recap everybody. Ben is against legalizing the selling of one's organs because it will have a bad effect on the black market because of no quality control. And Kevin is for the selling of one's organs because it will diminish the black market and putting a price on organs does help as well. And Muhammad is against the selling of one's organs because people will just hurt other people to get the money for the organs, and will also help the rich as well and diminish the poor. And CL is for the selling of one's organs because it will make the black market smaller, like Kevin said, and there will be no need for it. And so I just want to thank our audience and panelists for coming out, and I do appreciate it, guys, so thank you very much. And if you have any questions, now would be the time for the Q&A. Yes.
How would you accurately value an organ with different health profiles?
Kevin, how would you accurately do that?
So like I said before during the questions, we have a system set up where it's like a physical, where we would bring the patient in, we evaluate their current health status, their previous health status. We'll look into their lineage, see maybe if their parents had any severe health problems that could come up in them genetically. We make sure also that the patient themselves is in good health to be able to go through surgery for us to actually get their organs, and that they won't particularly die during surgery.
Okay, so any other questions? Yes.
How do you feel the enactment of legal organ selling will change the use of human work? And what does this option mean for incoming generations?
Ben, I think this question is more suitable for you. How do you feel the enactment of legal organ selling will change the view or value of human work, and what does this mean for future generations?
I think that that's probably the biggest reason why I'd be against being able to sell your own organs. There was an article that came out a couple years ago, which kind of made its way through social media rather quickly, where you could sell that if you were to add up all the tissue that you could possibly donate, organs you could donate, this is including bone marrow, you name it, that you could value the human body somewhere along the lines of $46 million, which was an incredible amount of money. But it's also putting a price on a life, and I think that's the biggest problem that we have. And CL mentioned that she thinks the black market would go down. I think that that's possible for a moment because it'd be made available, but the biggest concern I have that has to do with value of the human body is that eventually, like most things in this country, organ selling would become privatized, and companies would emerge that would deal organs from people to other people, and they could control price, and that could lead to bigger issues, which is why UNOS.org, who I represent, does everything on donation based and runs everything in a fair and equal way, so that price can't end up controlling how much a specific person is worth over another person, over how much another person can pay for another part of a person's body.
Okay, thank you for that, Ben. Are there any other questions? Yes.
You ever see the movie The Island? It's where they make clones of rich people that can afford it, and they basically have these clones on the island just grow up with false memories, and when time comes, they kill the people and they have their organs on standby for the people that afford it for a clone.
That's kind of what I meant by privatized.
Yeah, do you imagine it's such a dystopian thing happening?
Wait, is it directed to me?
No, it's to whoever the moderator wants to direct it to.
It would be for Ben.
Movie?
Yeah. sounds
I mean-
fun.
That's a tough question, because to say, I mean that, who knows how far in the future you'd have to look for that to happen, but I mean, people have cloned things before. People with money have done equally bizarre things. I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibility. I'd say it's very, very, very slim. It'd be interesting to see if that were to actually ever happen.
Okay.
But I do think I've seen that movie. Though, with the blonde girl?
Yeah, the blonde chick and the handsome generic dude.
Okay, I've seen that. Okay, yes, I do know what you're talking about. But is there any other questions, guys? Okay, well, if there are any questions, our panelists would be more than happy to answer them in the back. And thank you very much, panelists and audience again.